So go there. Okay. Now, let's see, where are you? Which things do I hit to start it for the slide presentation? And how do I make it bigger? Let's see.
I think we're seeing it full size.
No, we're not.
No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find.
This is the PowerPoint? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with Google Docs as much.
Try hitting slide.
There you go. Yeah, slide.
And then, nope.
Nope, go to view.
Okay.
The view menu.
View. Full screen.
Yep.
That's
That didn't
it?
help.
That wasn't too great.
No, there must be. What are the buttons down there below your slides on the left? There's like two little buttons.
Film strip view, that must be. And what's this one? Grid view. That's not.
Yeah, that's just for the slides.
Was there a under the view present? So like hit
No,
escape.
there wasn't.
Okay.
Because I was looking for that. And I've managed to lose that anyways. So
Try hitting escape.
oh,
if it goes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
On mine, it's view, and it's like the very first thing on view.
Oh, present. Yes, there it is. There it is. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So we're going to go through site selection, volunteer and site registration, data collection, the monitoring protocol, and data submission. And this year, it was either in December or January, they upgraded their data software, FieldScope. It used to be Flash, whatever that thing is, which basically went away. So they've changed it to whatever it is now anyways. So unfortunately, the tutorials in the Frogwatch website, which I'll show you, are not accurate anymore, but at least it gives you the basic.
They're close enough.
To it. Yeah, okay, good. Okay. Woohoo. There, okay. So basically, if you've got a new site, you need to register it first. And this is, you have to give the site a name. It can be something very localized name or not too generic, but if you don't want people, actually, you'll be putting in the GPS coordinates, so people are going to find it anyways. But you need to record the city, the county, and the state where the site is located. This Frogwatch USA is nationwide, so they have to know specifics. Obtain coordinates and directions to the site. Coordinates, you can often get them from your smartphones and one of the apps. On the iPhones, they have a compass, and then it gets you the GPS coordinates at that point. I don't know what it is on the Android phones or anything. Give basic directions to the site. Then you need to characterize the site, and they'll give us some information about that, and submit the completed registration form. Then they will okay it, and then you'll be able to enter data into it after you register in that. Okay, so if you have a handheld GPS, or if you got a phone app, if you've got it available, online platforms, those three, and there's probably other ones that you can use too to get the coordinates. And with the FieldScope, you could generally drill down, I think, and find it that way. Let's see. And that's just specific information. 4 decimal places. And Yeah. Okay, this is an example of rural. This happens to be in Maryland. And this is mostly like farmlands or forested areas and that. Okay, urban, you know, is city, central city. This happens to be Silver Spring. Oops, come on. Okay. Then you need to know the characteristics of the site. So the site habitat can be swamp or woodland swamp. And there are definitions for these in one of my other handouts. The one, okay, just a second. The one near the bottom called Wetland Habitat Reference Chart. That will give you the definitions of these site habitats. So it could be a swamp, marsh, bog or fen. We're not likely to have it around here, although there are a couple of bogs out in the AT. Vernal pool is a good likely one. Wet meadow, pond. We're not going to have prairie potholes here. That's out in the Midwest. We're liable to have ditches or tire ruts or anything like that. Well, the tire ruts would go underneath the other. Then if you know the wetland origin, you can say it's natural, beaver dam formed it, human-made, artificially altered would be like dams or things like that, or you're not certain. Water presence could be permanent. It could be temporary some years. It could be temporary every year, which would be a vernal pool, or you might not know. And you could always change this the next year if you find out it's only temporary and not permanent. Then you can always change this water presence. You can edit the records in that. Water source, is it a pond, a lake, stream, or river? If it was formed by precipitation or runoff, that would often be for the vernal pools. Or if it's groundwater that's come up to the surface, or if you're not certain what it is. Okay, this is an example of a swamp. Marshes is just the emergent, and swamps have got trees in them often. And that'll be in the definitions. And apparently, yeah, that's what probably groundwater formed this, and it's natural. Okay. Okay, so prior to coming to the site, practice identifying the calls. It's always good at the beginning of the year too. Or like, for instance, if you're doing once a year for the Christmas bird count, and then you get ready beforehand by listening to some of the bird calls and that. So it'll be the same thing for the frog calls and that. If you don't happen to remember what they sound like, bring a cheat sheet and listen to some of them beforehand. Now it has to be above 35 degrees Fahrenheit, not raining too hard. It could be like a light shower or something like that, nor too windy, because if it's too windy, you either won't be able to hear the frogs or they might dry out or something like that. Now you have to monitor it at least 30 minutes after sunset. That's one of the basic rules with Frog Watch. And I've got like Weather Bug or some of the other weather ones will tell you sunset and sunrise, the times and that, or you can Google it or whatever. Gather together equipment. And I have another handout, I believe. Let me see what it's called. Well, maybe I don't. I thought I did. It must be the vernal pool that I've got the materials to bring, but I believe Frog Watch has it listed somewhere or another. Maybe it's on a different slide. Yep, there it is. Copy of a monitoring protocol. You need a data sheet for each site that you're visiting. Clipboard is helpful to write on, pencil or pen, thermometer, stopwatch, wristwatch, your smartphone, whatever. If you need a flashlight, go ahead. Cell phone is good. Let's see, tape recorder. Now on my smartphone, I've got an app there where I can record things in that. Also, the smartphones often have cameras. I guess you have a first aid kit in your car, that's fine. You're not too likely to go too far away from the car during nighttime. And you're not going to go out in the woods or anything like that, a long distance or anything. That's not very safe at night. So you need more kind of like a secure site, like if there's a sidewalk nearby or a parking lot or something like that. Some of them, they're right in the parking lots, like next to Home Depot or things like that, or next to a hotel. So that's very convenient and it's safer that way. And it should have 2 people, unless you're not leaving the car, then I guess it's safe for 1 person anyways at that point. Okay, and this looks like the observation data sheet. So as I said, you need 1 per site. You need the observer name, the site name, so you know which one that you're recording for. Well, I don't know why you need the state, because you're gonna know what state you're in. The chapter would be the NRV Master Naturalist, although I'm going to let anybody in from the public that wants to do it in that, because Frog Watch can be anybody. Visit information, you need the date, you need the start time. This is the actual start time of the 3 minutes, not the 2 minute prior to the start time, and the 3 minutes after the end time, which would be the 3 minutes after the start time. Okay, then we need to know weather conditions. You need to know the air temperature, and it could be centigrade or Fahrenheit, so you got to indicate which one. Then the wind speed is important, because if it's higher than 3, you cannot do it. So they've got the definitions on the right for the Beaufort, however you pronounce it. 0 is calm, 1 is light air, 2 is a light breeze, the leaves rustle. 3 is the gentle breeze, leaves and twigs are in constant motion. And then it starts getting too windy when it's a moderate breeze. It's moving small branches or loose paper blows around. And then I think there's probably somewhere else it probably tells you how many miles per hour, because sometimes on your weather apps, it'll tell you how breezy it is to how many miles per hour. But you don't want to do moderate breeze, and you don't want to do the fresh breeze when the leaves and the small trees begin to sway. As I said, it's really too hard to hear the frogs, and it's a little bit hard on them. That'll start drying out their skin unless they're really below the surface of that. You also want to know the precipitation during the visit. If there is nothing, then indicate nothing. You shouldn't do it during a really hard rain. You can do it like in a light rain or drizzle, or possibly a medium rain. It just depends upon your definition. Fog or mist are okay as long as you can hear the frogs. Snow, we really probably shouldn't do it in that, because they had indicated 35 degrees and above. They want you to do it. Hail wouldn't be good either. So then they want to know what precipitation you had in the last 48 hours, because that makes a difference. If there's no precipitation, or if you had some precipitation, like if you had showers or something like that, much precipitation would be like an all-day downpour or something like that. Then they want to also know the temperatures during the last 48 hours, if it's been above freezing or if it's been below freezing. Oh, there it is. There's the speeds for the different wind scales and that. Because lately we've had sometimes this gentle breeze, which that doesn't seem like a gentle breeze to me, 8 to 12. But yeah, the other ones definitely are too windy. Anybody have any questions about the wind scale? Okay.
This is Mark. I do have one comment or question.
Mhm.
I assume, I mean, the wind's going to vary depending on where you are. So in some cases, if you're in a well-protected area with a lot of trees around, it may not be as windy at that spot, where maybe by the road where your car is, there's more wind. Just
Oh,
depends how close, if it's out in the
yes.
open, then
Mhm.
that's another story. But
Yeah,
that it could change based on your location. I
Yeah.
guess you just need to get a feel for that once you start monitoring.
right. Or if you're on top of a ridge where the wind is and that. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so after you get to your site, it has to be close enough so that you can hear the frogs. You need to be quiet for at least 2 minutes so you can acclimate them to your presence. Hopefully after the 2 minutes, if you heard them when you're coming up and they became silent, then you know they're there. So hopefully before the 2 minutes are up, they will start calling. But I guess if you want to wait a little bit longer, and then you need to
On that,
mhm,
I find that if I use, 2 of my sites are close to the road,
mhm,
they're acclimated to cars going by and that kind of thing.
mhm,
Whereas if I walk there, they stop and it takes them a lot longer to start
mm,
chirping again.
mhm.
So I end up using my car as somewhat of a blind and just parking alongside the road to listen.
Okay, but are you off the road mostly, or are these quiet
Mostly.
roads, or, okay,
Mostly. The entrance pool is a little hard to do off the road because it crosses the road.
oh, yeah, that's all right.
But
Mhm.
if you stay in your car and they're acclimated, that they start calling a lot faster than if you walk down and they're not accustomed to seeing somebody down there in the middle of the night.
Yeah. It was the same thing when I was doing horse trail rides and that. The deer don't really mind the horse or you on it, but if you're walking there by yourself as a human, yeah, they're gonna notice. Okay, so that's a very good, okay, it's a very good tip. And then use a watch or your smartphone or something to time the 3 minutes in that then. And you need to listen to, identify the ones that you can remember, and then write down on your data sheet which ones you're hearing. Now, if you can't identify something, you can't wait until you get home and look it up at that point, because at that point you might not remember it correctly. However, you can tape record it and then bring it home and compare it against some of the websites or something like that. Or if you've got internet on your phone and you're able to look up the Virginia Herpetological Society or the USGS one where the songs are, then you can do that too, but that's if you've tape recorded in that. Now, however, if the monitoring session is interrupted by noise and they stop croaking, you're going to have to restart your thing. So that means you're going to have another 2 minute acclimation period and then start the 3 minutes again. This could happen like with planes if you get interrupted and you can't hear the frogs anymore. Or if a noisy motorcycle goes by or something and they start being quiet and that.
Or a deer walk through your pool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I first started, I found it helpful to use my cell phone to video. And that gave me, okay, this is 3 minutes. You can see it on your video thing. And if there were some that I had questions about later, I could go back and listen to them later and get ID on them.
Okay, good.
Uses a lot of data though. You want to cancel, get rid of it after. There's not much to look at.
Mm. Okay. Now we come to reporting the calls and the intensities heard. So they have a drop-down list of the species in that. So you have to go down there and then choose. You can go down to spring peeper. they've got kind of like a spring peeper, then the one underneath that is spring peeper northern phase, and then the one underneath that is southern phase. But if you don't know if you're north or south, because we're in the middle here, so mid-Atlantic, so it could be northern or southern spring peeper. So you could just choose a spring peeper, the general thing in that. And then you have to choose the intensity, which is listed on the right. 0 means you didn't hear anything, but I think you only need to do that is if you don't hear any frogs, period. Then just use the first one and say no frogs heard with the 0 calling intensity. And I think they've got an option for the species name for no species or something like that too.
Well, there's an option in there that says no species heard. And you also have to go into call intensity and choose no species heard.
Right. Okay, so it has to be none, none.
Right. If you don't hear anything, then you have to choose no species heard in both places, the intensity and the name.
Good. Okay, so the calling intensities, 1 means that there is individuals you could hear and there is space between the calls, like if you only got like 1 or 2 or 3 spring peepers, which isn't that often. 2 is the calls of individuals could be distinguished and there's some overlapping. That generally means maybe 5 or 6 frogs. But then number 3 is the full chorus. Calls are constant, continuous, and overlapping, which is most of the time for the spring peepers, sometimes for the wood frogs and that too. Most of the time that I hear American toads is like only 1 or 2 calling. I don't know if anybody else has heard more than that many at one time or not. So I guess it depends upon the species too and how many there are. So so first, if you've got only, if you've got 2 different frog species, say like wood frogs and spring peepers, you could choose like wood frogs first and then choose the calling intensity. And then you have to choose it again for the different species name and do the same thing again. Okay, any more questions about this? Okay, let's see. And then after you've done your 3-minute monitoring, enter the start and stop times on your data sheet so you don't forget. Though I guess it doesn't really matter, but they want the times in that. List all the species that you heard and their calling intensity. If you don't know what it is, don't report it. They don't want any maybes or possible false data in that. They're very particular about giving accurate data because the scientists and other people use this data. And if they get corrupt or bad data, then that's going to mess up their research in that. And as he said here, good data documents both the presence and the absence of breeding calls. So when we're reporting the temperatures and the wind and everything and if there had been precipitation in the last 48 hours or the temperature was freezing or above freezing, that helps them formulate the research in that. So that helps them. Okay, we went over that already.
You can now go in and take your cell phone and put this stuff into your cell phone, record the data in the field. It uses a heck of a lot of data and I can't do it again because I went over, but you can do it in the field now.
Is there an app that goes with the new version of FieldScope or what?
I'm not sure how I got it. I've got FieldScope in my phone now.
Oh, okay. It must be an app then, maybe.
Click on that and it goes straight to FrogWatch for me.
Oh, okay.
But there's not a lot of Wi-Fi in my spot.
Yeah, that's another thing. Was it this one they were telling us? I'm trying to remember. We had coordinator training earlier this year with the new FieldScope. And I think it was this software that you could enter it on your phone, even though if you don't have internet connections, you can enter it in the phone. And then when you get back to where there's Wi-Fi or back to your computer, then it will upload it into the
Yeah, I just have to figure out how to do it.
Oh, okay.
I need to do it for eBird too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know which works better. For an iPhone, you have the video where you can record the sound with it,
Mhm.
but you also have a thing called voice memos,
Oh, yes.
which also counts up 3 minutes. And all it does is pure audio recording.
Oh,
And so using voice memos in the iPhone app,
mhm.
I might try that and do that every single time I go out and see how well that could pick up stuff.
I've used that too. Yeah, you're right. I've used that. I heard, although I messed up saving it, was hearing green frogs up in Western New York State. I've taped it with a couple of other areas there when I was visiting my brother with different frogs. And another site down here next to Home Depot, I never did figure out what the frog was, even when I was listening to it with that voice memo thing. But yeah, that's a good idea. If you don't have a smartphone or something, then you could use paper forms and write it down there. And then when you get back to your computer, you can input it. Now, Frog Watch does suggest that new members send in your first 4 copies of your data sheets for the first 4 times you've done it. And the coordinator double checks to make certain that you entered them correctly. But I think I've only had one person do that. If you're fairly certain that you're entering it okay, that's fine. If you got questions, then contact me then, and I can double check that you entered in that anyways. Okay, I guess that was my part, so, okay. Oh, they're just double checking about how you're registering a site. Yeah, they're very big on not having mistakes in there and that to mess up the data in that. So one thing that they can automatically check is the times that you put in. If you put in like a 11 a.m. starting at 11 a.m., then that's an obvious error that you might have forgotten to put in p.m. or something like that. Majority of the time, as you were saying, will be between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. And I think you're allowed up to 1 a.m. I don't know who's going to do it at 1 a.m., mind you. Now, I have heard during the beginning part of the season now is you can hear spring peepers at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or something like that. So at least you know if you want to know if they're going to be more than likely out that night. If you're going around past them earlier in the day, then you'll know that they are calling. That's a little helpful hint in any ways.
Sometimes if I hear it in the daytime, like when I'm checking a pool, but I don't hear it that night, I put that information in the comments. I heard a green frog calling earlier, but it wasn't calling tonight or something like that.
At the time period that you were there. So you can't put in comments, and they haven't mentioned that. But yeah, you can put in comments like any other wildlife you saw or heard or whatever, like your deer that interrupted you by going through the pool. Okay.
It knows when you screw up the temperature too.
Yeah. And you have to make certain whether you're using Fahrenheit or centigrade because they'll use both anyways.
Yeah, because it comes up centigrade and I always put Fahrenheit and it goes, no, that can't be right.
Ah. Okay, so this is some other ways that they double check whether you put it in correctly.
Oh.
So you might have heard them, might have seen them
Yeah, like this week.
flap into the water. Or you might have spotlighted them too, accidentally. Okay.
I got a wood frog in Bear Drive this week. And I put that in there that, I saw the wood frog, but it wasn't pollen.
Good. And this is tips for the coordinators, I guess. Now, Judy has kindly taken the coordinator training, so both of us are coordinators now. So if you need any help, you can ask either of us. And she's had several years of experience now too. So I'm very grateful that Judy is helping me out with this. Okay, let's see, anything else? Okay. That's the end of this one. So let me see. Now, let me show you, I can't remember if I've told you about, have I given you the URL for the Frogwatch USA website at all? I can't remember. Well, if I haven't, then I'll send you another email with this address. But basically, it is the Association of Zoos and Aquariums that have been doing this since someplace or other. It was started by another group. I think it might have been the USGS, even the US Geological Survey, and then AZA took it over a few years ago. But I think they've had data since around 1998, I think they were saying. And then it gives you all the reasons why frogs are important. They are a very good environmental indicator species because their skin is water permeable. So any pollutants, antibiotics or toxins or heavy metals or anything, they will affect both the tadpole and the adult stage. And you can tell that there's something wrong with the water quality at that point. So that's why they're called environmental indicators anyways. So that's an important part of their reason why they're monitoring them. Then they've got lots of other information here. I'll take you to the Frogwatch volunteers section. And there's a section here of how to become a volunteer, which is basically what you're doing is to take a class, find a local chapter, take a class. And I'll also show you, they've got some online class information too. The next closest chapter, I believe, is the Mill Mountain Zoo in Roanoke. They started their chapter a little bit after we started our chapter. Or was it the other way around? Anyways, then let's see. Then this will show you information how to become, which is basically what you're doing. They do have in-person training schedules. Actually, because of COVID, most of them are online now. Like this one. And then the Frogwatch USA has some more separate ones. Oh, I don't remember how to get in there. There's a couple more in there. One used to be free and one used to be $15, but I think after COVID started, they're both free now. And they're essentially the PowerPoints that I showed you and some other information too. But that's also another place to look at if you like. Then after, basically after you take the 2 quizzes, pass them, then I will put your name, give your name to the Frogwatch USA people, and then you'll be able to register online and then start entering data. But then if, let's see, where did we go back to here? And then current Frogwatch USA volunteers. Let me show you the information that's there. This gets you to the place where you enter and review your data. Then this has a whole bunch of nice tutorials here Unfortunately, all of these data entry ones are still with the old version of FieldScope with a flash, whatever it is. So it's still based on the old version, but you can use this information from the new version too to help you learn how to do the mapping and the graphing and everything. Then this gives you access to like the monitoring protocols. Let's see. And then it gives you, there's 3 or 4 different websites where you can listen and practice the frog and toad calls. And I believe that was on one of my handouts I put at the bottom too.
There's also, if you get, it's DWR now, but it was DGIF when it came out. There's a Frogs and Toads of Virginia book that comes with a CD that has the calls on it.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
I've got that. It was out of print for a while. I'm hoping it's back in print. So I guess just check their store and see if it is.
Check DWR.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go next to the new FieldScope and see if we can muddle through that. Come on, get out of there. Oops. So if you go from, no, actually, I don't want to open up another screen. Come on, get out of there. Okay. Bye-bye. Come on, get out of there. Okay, so this is what's called the FieldScope. This is where you enter your data. And it just gives you another overview anyways. So I'm already logged in, but technically you need to log in each time. So it's only the people that are registered with FrogWatch have access to entering their data in that. So if we hit data here, then it has both a version of a table and the map version. So I guess you can drill down or not. No?
I think this shows existing data. If you, there's a green button up there that says add data if you wanted to do your,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I just
your
want.
observation. Oh, okay.
Okay. Oops. Okay. Well, anyways, if we go back to table, then this is where my observations are. Recent observations of anybody and all observations, but all observations, I think there's a limit of 5,000 entries. And I don't know if there's any way to override that, but basically it's, I think, probably the most recent 5,000 entries that we've been entered in anyways. So I started it back in, looks like 2014, and I haven't done anything the last couple of years, unfortunately, but the first place where I lived in Christiansburg on Rolling Hills Drive, I had the horse pasture that backed up right to my house. So I just named that the horse pasture. And then, so I did quite a bit there. And let me see, is there a way to, it should show us if it'll do it. It did it earlier. Should show us. Come on, wake up. It should show us that entry, but it's not doing it so far, but come on. It did it earlier for me today, but it's not doing it now. That's not nice. Now see, this is the centigrade where they've got it in.
Yeah.
So, okay. Ah, there it is, finally. So it's showing you the, let me see if I can get it over here so you can see it. It's showing you the map where it is. And then media. Now the new version, and I'll show you later, you could put in like photos, you could put in audio, you could put in video. So it's pretty good. So it's got a lot of added information. It tells you the observation date. This is back in February 23rd, 2014, latitude and longitude, which it picks up from when you first filled out the site registration. Then it gives you, I started at 8:07 p.m. and ended at 8:10. And then There was no wind at that point, no precipitation, nothing in the last 48 hours. It was above freezing, no species heard. So that's, and then you got up here, you can edit it if need be. So if you've goofed up somewheres or other, you can make changes in that anyways. Okay, now there's different ways to sort these. So you can sort it by, looks like this one's already sorted by the
Station
name of
name.
yeah, the name of the site. It looked like the station name. Oh, okay, so let me go down here. It's 15 per page, and it says I have 79 observations total. So there is a way, if you click here, you could say 50 per page. So you don't have to keep going from page to page to page. So this one, okay, then this is for the other entry I was using back then was, I called it just a vacant lot. It's the one that's on Business 460 in between a gas station and a vet anyways. It's a, they've been trying to sell it and it's just a small little lot. And that was the one that I went to earlier today and it looks like it's dry, but I've heard spring peepers there and American toads. So until they sell the lot and then bulldoze it and develop it, I keep hearing stuff there. Unless it's dried up.
Private.
It's private, so I stay on either the gas station property or I stay on the vet property, their parking lot. So I don't monitor anything.
So it's okay to stop in the road down the road and monitor a pond that says no trespassing all around it? If I'm not, as long as I'm not going on that property?
I guess if you're on,
You had to do public land, you couldn't do private without permission from the owner.
yeah.
But
But I guess as long as you're on the right of way of the road and that, then and don't go onto the property,
okay,
I think
there's
so.
a really good pool down the road from me.
Mm. Yeah, I've got one that's on the way to the barn where my horse used to be. There is a small building where Verizon has a repair shack or one of those shacks or whatever. And I don't think staying there for 5 minutes and then leaving wouldn't hurt anybody, unless of course the cops came along. But basically, if that ever happened, I would have the data sheets with me. I would have like maybe my master naturalist hat or something or other, or your badge or something like that to show that you were doing semi-official stuff. So they don't think that you're doing drugs or whatever.
I've been caught by rangers a couple of times.
Oh, you have?
They go, oh, it's you.
Okay. Okay, so you could also sort by, let's see, get back up to the top, start time, end time, and observation dates. So there's different things here anyways. Now, if, oh, and you can download the data too. I don't know how to do that, but I think it does it in Excel or a spreadsheet of some kind. Then recent observations is anybody's, I believe. So let's go back to table. Yeah, see, the eastern part of the country is starting to hear it in that right now because it's that time of the year. Okay, so it looks like most recent is like March 12th, which was last night. So you can see them just about instantly after they add their data in and that. So let's see where Lick Creek Barton is. Okay, let's see if I need to
look for one of mine.
Oh, yeah, okay. The old one I thought had a search feature. This one does not look like it has a search feature, which would be nice. Could you do that with the vertical one? It's got a search feature.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can go by the station name, see if I can click by, oh, no, I want the other way. Click by, no. Click by ascend, yes, oops. Oh, no, fudge, how did I, Bluebird Meadow? That doesn't look like it's by ascending, does it?
No, it's ABC. Mine will be the
It's
next.
by the
page.
date, I think it's by the date. Do you know what dates you did yours on? The last
Wednesday.
one, Wednesday, which was
The 10th.
10? Okay, let's see if we can go down. Oh, wait a minute. How come it's only saying?
I think because you're only looking at recent data.
Oh,
You need to go
okay.
to
Go to
all.
all observations. So this is where you get the 5,000 limit. Whoops, let me go back to table. And this will take a while. Okay. Oh, that's kind of original, Ribbit. Let's see, how are they doing this again?
You're back to 2012.
Hey, oh, in 2003? Oh, well, that's what you do with the
Okay.
observations. So anyways, that's how to do that anyways. Okay. Now I haven't done anything with visualizations. I assume this is where you can do the mapping and the charting and everything. And I know it was more user-friendly in the old version of FieldScope. Let's see what this create new thing does. Oh, no. Okay. How about, let me get over here a little bit. Oh, there's a help thing down there. I guess that would be helpful. Observations, recent observations. Well, anyways, I know the old version, they had a whole bunch of nice pie charts and other things that you could do. It looks like you're gonna have to do some exploring to figure out how to use this, but you can use your own data. And I think you can use other people's data too. And I like the old version better.
Get an idea what might be in your area.
Yeah, yeah. And then, yeah, and see if you can see if you got any same things in your area too, that is others.
I mean, you could probably do a pie chart just in your data of the type of frogs and just see which ones are dominant
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
then how long have they been calling in that too?
It probably depends on time of year.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions about this? It looks like you're just gonna have to do some learning, and the help doesn't seem to be really interesting for me anyways. I think there is this basic help goes to FieldScope, and there wasn't that much in here, but go through here too. And I just don't find it as useful as the old version, but new versions, you got to learn and everything. So, okay. So let me go back to, wait a minute, that I think. Yes. Okay, anybody else have any other questions while we're in here? Otherwise, you'll just have to learn it yourself then. Okay, let me go back to, no, where did it go to? Okay, FieldScope.
Yeah, it's a Zoom thing.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Whoops. This is the Google Drive thing. Okay, so this is the PowerPoint things anyways. Does anybody have any questions about the 14 species that we have here in our area? Now, I picked those up using the Virginia Herpetological Society website, and it's got the maps with all the counties on it. So I just checked there for the New River Valley area. It shows those 14 as having been cited here. That doesn't mean that there aren't some that are here that haven't been officially cited in our counties and that.
3 of them are really uncommon in the area.
Yeah, I think one of them's only got one county or something like that. So, okay, I wanted to show you the some of the handouts next, I think. Some of these handouts are from some of the material that I've been finding in that too, and some of it's from the Frog Watch. Now this one down here, what frogs are you hearing? I thought I retitled that. This is the one, I think it's from, oh, I can't remember. I got it from some, it might have been the Herpetological Society website. This one, right now, this is March. So supposedly the wood frog might have been calling since late January. So they're halfway through their breeding season already, it looks like. Then let's see, we don't have the leopard frogs here, at least those other ones. Spring peeper, of course, is going to have been calling since February, it says. It just depends upon the weather of that. We don't have little grass frogs here, so we don't count him. I believe we've got the mountain chorus frog here, but I don't know how common they are. Let's see, other March ones. Oh, the eastern spadefoot, it says. We've got those here. American toads are going to be start calling. Okay. Did you say those were breeding already over to Clater, Judy?
No, I found them breeding last year. That's why I added that site.
Oh, okay. But this gives you some idea of what to look for. Now, other things is like the bullfrogs don't start calling until May, and they're generally in the deeper ponds because they're bigger frogs, of course. So
And their tadpoles stay in the water for 2 years instead of 1.
Yeah. So that kind of gives you some idea. If you're just looking at a marshy area, which is only temporary, you're going to only find some of these other frogs. They're just going to be here. And then the permanent water areas like ponds or river. No, they're not going to be in rivers, I don't think. Creeks, some of the slow moving areas of the creeks, but some of the ponds and that is going to have the bigger frogs like the bullfrog or some of the green frogs or things like that. So it depends upon what kind of wetland area you're looking at will show you which frogs that might be finding in that then. And that's where helping with the biology, looking at the biology from the Virginia Herpetological Society will tell you what kind of wetlands that they're most likely found in. Let's see. Anybody else have any other questions right now while I'm, there. Okay, handouts, what are the handouts that I have? Oh, okay, I have a handout here for some of the areas that I know that I've found frogs in before. Also, I had an email from the bird club yesterday. They've been going to the Deerfield Trail in Blacksburg for the woodcocks this week. And they said the spring peepers are up there singing a storm right now too. So that's another place. Basically anywhere that you can hear the frogs calling, you can use it as a site in that. Because what I've done before is I drove it around at nighttime with my car windows down, and you can also find a lot of sites like that with them singing. Very easy to find some sites in that. So those are some examples. You can find your own sites. The parks closed.
Do you have a list of who's doing what or a list of what needs to be taken on?
I do for the vernal pool. I don't think I've done one for the frog watch. Since I don't know if anybody's doing any of these areas or not. I don't know if it matters as much. For the vernal pools, I think it matters more. But the frog watches, I don't have any ones that say which ones have been adopted or whatever. I just know that Clater Lake is yours, and Fenton, actually, Bruce doesn't do frog watch, does he? He just does the vernal pools. Okay.
It's way too far to go to Fenwick Mines for frog watch.
Yeah, that would be a little bit hike.
There's get home till
areas
midnight
around here. Just drive up and down the roads and you'll find places anyways. So I don't think we need a particular adoptee page or anything.
I mean, if they get double monitored, it's not a problem.
Yeah, and I've
Still
been,
data points.
yeah, I've been checking.
It'd just be nice to know that they are being monitored.
Yeah, I've been checking the field scope. The old version was easier to drill down to and look for your local area. I got to do some more investigations, but I know there wasn't that many. There was like maybe 10 or 12 sites in the New River Valley area that had been recorded and put into field scope a couple years ago. So I don't know if there's any more now or not. It seems
I mean,
to
you
be
could probably, you could probably go to the, you know, recent observations and look at the map and then drill down in our area
Yeah.
and just see it from that.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to remember, how often are you supposed to do a site, or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter, but I think they kind of say weekly, but,
No, they're saying bi-weekly now.
oh, they are? Good.
Yeah, that's what my training said. There's no way.
Okay, good.
They say at minimum 3 to 4 times during the season,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, the more you go out, the more frogs you're gonna be able to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
So
We
bottom
try to go
line,
out
if,
once a week or so, but if it's windy, you can't go. You know, there's a lot of, and it's after dark that you go. So
it's probably okay then if a couple people are monitoring the same spot, because where the odds of both all
Oh,
be there at the same night.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd be all right to double monitor, but it'd be nice to know that they're being monitored, that some are being monitored, that we don't know
yeah,
that.
period. The other thing I've noticed too is that the later the season and the sunset, it gets later, like 9 p.m.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah, then you can't monitor until like after 9:30, and I kind of don't feel like doing it at that point in time. But that would be like for the bullfrogs in May or something like that. But the earlier ones now is at a good hour, like after dinner hour or something like that to monitor. So
Yeah, I was wishing we could go tonight instead of tomorrow night, but
mhm. Okay, let me see if there's any other handouts I want to go over. There's a lot of resources anyways that you can go to in that, and those are listed in various places, various handouts and that. Let me see if I can get you to the Virginia Herpetological Society website quickly. Okay, I think I have to open up a new tab. And just briefly show you what that is. It's very good. Okay.
that's USGS.
No, this is a state one.
Oh, okay, there's the
Yeah. Oh, this is the Virginia Herpetological Society. So it goes through frogs and toads, salamanders, lizards, snakes, and turtles. And I think most of those have those books put out by the old DGIF and DWR. Now they've got a new one in salamanders. I haven't bought that yet.
it's
I
good.
had one on snakes, and they've got one on turtles. So, so
There's
let's.
one on bats.
Oh, they got one on bats too. Okay, but
Yep.
it's not going to be in this herp thing. So, okay. Okay, so this has got all of the frogs and toads here in Virginia. Oh, maybe this is where I got the frog calling schedule. Let's see. Yep, that's where I got it from then. Okay, and then, okay, frog development chart. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and here's the charts where it shows you which counties that they've been reported in. Yeah, see this one, the eastern cricket frog, it's only in, oh, is that Montgomery here?
Yep.
That is Montgomery? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, what you can do here is, this tells you calls between April and August. This is their sound.
Northern cricket frog, Acris crepitans.
This must be the marbles clicking together one.
We have these at Fenwick.
You do?
Yep.
Ooh.
They're really cute.
Okay. Hmm. Uh-oh, I hear somebody else. Anyways, I don't know, half a minute of it. Then it's got additional information, which is very thorough. Common name, scientific, what it's derived from, average length, physical description, reproduction. Oh, and they got tadpoles. The only tadpoles I can tell is the wood frogs, because they got gold flecks in their bodies in the tadpoles. And then behavior, says it's native, largely a Piedmont species. Okay. And then it's got references and more photos. So, and, oh, it's got which counties it's been verified in. So, yeah, Montgomery. So it's pretty thorough on that anyways. So if you're interested in looking for it anyways. And they've got apparently a specialized spadefoot reporting. So they got something that they're working on specifically for that.
There's also one for the box turtle.
Yeah, the box turtle. Oh, and the spotted skunk, I know they've been interested in too. So, okay. Any other questions before we go to the frog and toad quiz, which will be the second quiz that you need to pass to get certified in that?
Oh, hey, Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in the handout or slide presentation, there was,
Mhm.
as far as the protocols, that the temperature couldn't be below 35 degrees for 2 days previous.
I think that was in there somewhere. Yes, it's probably in the protocols, I believe.
But I wonder in the spring, it's pretty common for the temperature to dip, in the middle of the
Yeah.
night. So is that really something to
Worry about? No,
worry
I'd
about?
say if you could hear it, then record it.
You can select above freezing and below freezing on the data sheet. And the wood frogs are out really early.
Mhm.
Well, those are the ones that have got the antifreeze in their blood, so they can freeze solid. So yeah, they're going to be out early. So yeah, despite the temperature, I think that's just, excuse me, a suggestion, hopefully.
Then another question. I'm assuming if you're monitoring by ear or by car, so to speak, like, do some people have multiple sites? They have like a little route that they would do?
Yes,
so to
I've
speak?
got one. I've got like 5 or 6 within like about a 3-mile stretch.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's what the DWR has for certain areas in the state, is they've got these routes, and I think they only have to do them 3 or 4 times a year, but the our chapter used to have 2 of the local routes in that anyways, and they got reported that way. So that's a different program than, that's a state program, whereas this is a Association of Zoos and Aquariums program. So those are 2 distinct programs.
Okay, thank you.
I monitor all of my vernal pools plus one other site in the park.
So it's pretty handy to have a route and then just hit all of those in one night and then wait a couple weeks. And depending upon the weather and that too, you can hit them again. So And sometimes can take you probably an hour or more, depending upon travel times and everything, because it's not that long at each site and that.
If you don't get interrupted.
Yeah, true. Mhm. Okay. Okay, I'm going to use the USGS frog quizzes, and I will do 10 out of our 14 that I have listed in the cheat sheet. If you have a copy of your cheat sheet, you can look at it during this quiz. Just don't look at the computer screen. And then write down what you think it is. Just label it 1 through 10. Yes, kitty. Ugh. Just label it 1 through 10 and write down what you think it is. So let me get to the first one. Just don't look at the screen. Okay. No, not that one. Okay. Ah, come on. It worked this morning. Let me try again. Okay, let me try a different frog. Oh, that's not nice. Apparently the site must be down or something. I'm getting the specified URL cannot be found, and I was using it this morning to verify that this worked okay. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, that happened to me. I was using it about an hour before the class, trying to review them. And on the very last one I did, I kept getting that error too. So
Okay.
makes you wonder if it's down.
Yeah.
I was gonna say play it from the HERP website, but that tells you the name.
Yeah, that's why I've used this one. Okay, let me just see if I can get to it a different way. Okay, so there is let's go to the public quiz thing and see if we can get to it that way. See if this version is working or not.
That's the one I was using that was giving me problems too.
Oh, I was using the review thing. Okay, so this is, let's see if it's the same thing or not. Okay, so it says take quiz. Oh, unsupported plugin. Oh, okay. So let me see. So we know the Virginia Herp Society website gives you the names. Let me see what the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, it gives you the names before that too. So just a second while I go to that. Okay, ooh, that one. And then we need to go to, okay, let's see if we go to that. Okay. Don't look at the screen. I'll see if this does anything. Okay. Oh, they've changed this too. Okay, well, let's see if this will work or not. Okay, where does my handout go to?
or the lower six?
Hey, Brenda,
Mm-hmm.
I'm online at the PWRC site.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sorry, were you not connecting or?
I was connecting to the,
USGS.
no, that was the one that wasn't
Okay.
working. So
Oh.
this is the,
Well,
mhm.
I'm-
This is the
I'm
front
online
watch.
at that.
Yeah, I went
Okay,
there
but
and
I'm
just now and it worked also.
Yeah,
Huh.
I'm online at that frog call site.
The USGS one? Should I try it again?
Yes.
Okay, just a second then. Let me get over to there then.
If you have a window open on it, you might
Yeah, I
close it
do.
and reopen it.
Oh, okay. Let me close. Okay. Let me see if I can. Okay, just a second. Let me see if I can get to it from here. Okay, I wanted to use the frog call lookup thing. Let's see if that works or not. Okay, let's try it again.
Hear mine?
Ah, okay, looks like it might work then. So, okay, this will be, we'll try the first one again then. Anybody need more time? Okay, that was the first one. Okay, let me find the second one for you.
Hey, Brenda,
Oops. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first one.
Oh,
I'm
did
sorry.
everybody else hear it?
Yes.
Okay, let me go back to it again for Don then.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Okay. I've got the sound turned on. Okay, let me try it again.
Okay, got it.
Got it?
Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Okay, second one coming up as soon as I get to it. Come on, I clicked.
Where you going?
Mm-hmm. Has everybody heard that one okay?
Yep.
Okay.
He's got stuff to do.
I already know.
How'd you figure it out?
I sussed it out pretty quick. He said he had something to do while he was out there. Then I thought pack a hamburger. So I said, "Christy, you talking to him?" He's like,
Okay, here's the third one. In a minute, as soon as it wakes up.
Extra point if you get the owl.
Yeah, okay. Let me find the fourth one now. Oh, geez. That's enough, getting on my nerves. Okay, let me find the fifth one. Come on, wake up. Okay,
That one also makes a cool sound when it jumps into the water. That and you can
does.
feel it plopped in. Yeah,
Ah, so it's an alarm squeak then?
yeah.
Ah,
I hear it, but I very rarely see the frog.
oh. Okay, here is number 6. Okay. Number 7 in a minute. Okay, let me get number 8 for you. Okay. Let me get number 9 for you. Okay, and number 10.
Another cool bird.
Yeah. Okay. There was one time when my sister was phoning to me up in Northern Virginia. She was here at Pilot, and I could hear the whippoorwill over the phone that she was listening to. That was pretty neat. That's the only time I've heard a whippoorwill. Okay, so let's go over. What does everybody think number 1 was?
Wood frog.
Good.
Agreed.
Okay. Number 2.
American toad.
Yep. Okay. Number 3.
Green frog. Or sorry, green tree frog.
Yeah, green frog.
Frog.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not common here.
It is?
No.
Oh, it isn't? Okay. Well, then you might not ever hear it then. Number 4.
Fowler's toad.
Yep. Number 5.
Green frog.
Yep. Okay, number 6.
Upland tree frog.
Yes.
Or
Chorus
chorus.
frog.
Upland chorus frog. Sorry.
Yeah, the one that sounds like it's along the finger along a comb. Mm-hmm. Okay, number 7.
Big peepers.
Yes. Can't mistake those. Number 8.
And gray tree frog.
You got pickerel.
No.
Pickerel
It was
frog.
pickerel. with
Pickerel,
the
yes.
No, 7 was gray tree frog.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
And
Both of
peepers.
those, yes. Okay,
And yeah, 8's pickerel frog.
yes, okay. Number 9,
The cricket frog.
yeah, eastern or northern, the one that sounds like glass marbles being knocked together. And number 10, the last one,
Bullfrog.
yep. So as long as you only got less than 2 wrong, you've passed. So is everybody okay?
Yep.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So I think everybody but Tamara has sent me in the first quiz with the 10 questions in it. Is that correct?
I sent to you
Oh, when did you send it to me?
yesterday or day before.
Okay, then I will find it in my email somewhere or other.
Okay, if you don't, let me know and I'll resend it. But
Okay,
I didn't send in the evaluation yet. Should I have done that?
no. So the evaluation is on my Google Drive. So yeah, everybody can fill that out. That's based on, well, wait until after the field trip. And then use that evaluation to evaluate both this Zoom class and the field trip. And then fill that out and you can email it to me. And then after you do that, then I'll send your name into the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and then you'll be able to get registered with their website and you can start entering data at that point. But both this, basically it's a 4-hour class. And I thought it was easier this way for you guys to read everything and then us to go over it together in that, because I've done it before with 2-hour classes over the tech and it gets pretty long. And it's pretty, your mind starts going to mush after 2 hours. So I figured this way, if you can break it out over several evenings or something like that, would be more helpful. And then I don't think they require a field trip, but I think it's encouraged. So I'm making that as part of the requirements for certification. Anybody else have any other questions while I've got everybody together?
Everybody know where we're meeting tomorrow night? 8 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay. Bring a clipboard if you want to take notes. I've got data sheets. Elizabeth, I have your clipboard in the car.
Mm-hmm.
We'll walk to the first 2 and hope to not stop the sounds at the one.
Mm.
And then if you want to go to the third one, it's down in the park. So I gotta get in touch with Ryan. Let him know.
Okay, well, thank everybody for coming then. And any questions that you have, you can contact either Judy or me, and we'll be very glad to see if we can help answer them. So I'm hoping this was helpful to everybody and that you have fun. This is just the beginning of the frog toad season.
Your
And
cat is
spring. Spring can, oh, I'm very glad that spring is here.
Huh?
So,
Sorry.
mm-hmm. Oh,
Your cat has a very long tail.
yes, she does.
Send you a picture of my cat. I have the opposite problem.
Oh, really? Mm. Okay, well, thank everybody for coming then, and I hope you enjoy this and you'll enjoy it more for being outside, especially with it getting warmer out finally.
Thank you,
Flowers
Brenda.
starting to bloom.
It was very helpful.
Good,
Very
good.
much.
Yeah, thank you, Brenda.
Yeah, thanks, Brenda.
You're welcome. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
See you tomorrow.
This,
Okay.
this is Brenda, this is recorded. I don't know how I could send you the link if you want that, or whether
Yeah,
get
is there some way to put it into the Google Drive by any chance? Because Mark put the other one into a private listing into.
you're talking about Michael. I could download it and then upload it into your Google Drive,
Oh, okay.
assuming that I have permission to do that.
I'm trying to think. Well, okay.
I'll try it and I'll let you know if I can't.
Okay, I'll see if you've got permission on there. I'll check that little people thing for the sharing thing and see.
Yeah, I definitely have permission to download. The question is whether I could add files.
Oh, as long as you're in the edit mode, I'll check. To make
Okay.
sure. Okay, good. Thanks then. Mm-hmm. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.